take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time. And in your 20s, you can get so scared and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
The one thing that made me who I am today is being vulnerable. It's breaking myself down to the absolute rock bottom and being able to tell people who I am.
Fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
It could have been great.
For me, it always comes back to perseverance, persistence, high pain tolerance, an ability to suffer through discomfort, a welcoming of doing hard things, and willingness, really.
Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins.
Come on. You're all's a lot more than you know. You got more inside of you to give. Stop selling yourself so short.
Own yourself, walk forward with more courage, and start becoming the man you want to be instead of acting like it and putting it off.
Be less impressed and more involved.
More involved, yeah.
He maintains faith regardless of what's happened to him. And that's really the moral of the story of Job, which is that you are morally obligated to maintain faith no matter what happens to you.
No, man. I want to own 100% of the suffering I went through in my life. I don't want anybody telling me, hey, Goggins, you can't say this. I would lose my shit. What I suffered this badly, and you're gonna fucking tell me I can't say this?
If the why is powerful, the how is easy. And you're the only one personally that can answer that question for yourself. You've got to have your own list of whys.
As I was crying and my head down, taking furniture in, my mama said, hold your head up. I said, Mama, I just feel so bad about this, Mama. She said, hold your head up and dry your tears. You have nothing to be ashamed of. And I did.
The man who never failed, has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is. The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater glory.
Wow.
That man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never failed. There's no glory in that.
It's the effort, it's the journey. It's like suffering through times that I don't want to be at the gym or why I want to quit on my diet, and I push myself, and every single moment, every day leading up to the show, and I win all those moments. That's winning. That's like winning in life continuously every day.
How it's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. Like, there's so many people that struggle with what their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's, right? And when you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, your shit is never gonna be right. It's never gonna be right.
I no longer wanted to be a victim of that race. A victim in my mind. I wanted to dominate when most people would refuse to dominate. I wanted to dominate under the most harsh environment.
I wanted to be uncommon amongst uncommon people.
But when you do 100 repetitions of something, the first 5 times you're like, wow, I'm so much better. But then like the difference between 5 and the next 95 times is what goes from being great to being a masterpiece. And like it's that next 95 that I think is what makes people world class. And that's where everyone falls off. And that's why most people aren't.
You're probably chasing at it right now, aren't you? Trying to make it what you want it to be. And in your mind, you're trying to find some way to, if you could just get to that finish line, if you could just get to that promotion, if you could just get to the weekend, if you could just get to that sale, then you'll give yourself a break. Except when you get there, you got to go somewhere else too. Have you not realized that every day you live, there's going to be another day, and every goal you achieve, there's going to be another goal?
So that failure was necessary. That failure was positive. That failure taught you another piece of the puzzle that you're going to need when you finally succeed. You're only going to have what you need to succeed because you gained it from your failures. And if you don't have any failures, you don't have anything to build your success on.
My very first one-on-one coach used to say to me, he would say, what's your why? What's your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He would like hammer it home in my head. And I was like, why do you ask this so much? And he would always say, because if your why is strong enough, your how will reveal itself. If you know why you want to do something, how it's going to be done, you'll figure out. It doesn't matter. Things are going to get in your way. There's going to be obstacles. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be moments of like, I don't know if I can do this. But if your why is so strong, it's like, I don't care what comes up in front of me. I'm going to get it done.
Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. We are now around soft men and hard times. We're in the time of toxic masculinity, right? Where you could be toxically male.
If he could do it,
this isn't a movie.
He believed in himself, and you can too.
Oh man, you're gonna put it on me like that?
You can do anything that you want. You can get singing lessons, get a better job, make more money. You could be even like rich. You could live in the White House someday. You could be president.
Me?
Do what you want to do.
You're
it's
amazing.
not about it's not up to other people.
It's true.
It's up to you.
Something clicked that I'll never probably be able to do again, when my mind, body, spirit, soul, everything just connected. And my mind knew I wasn't fucking around anymore. It knew I wasn't gonna quit. It knew that guy was dead and buried and gone. And I was gonna die out here on this fucking Walmart for whatever reason why, I was gonna get through this motherfucker. I didn't give a damn. It made no, there was no fucking crowds. There was no trophy at the end. I wasn't even in a race in my mind. It was nothing. It wasn't about nothing. There was no nothing. It was a bunch of people who didn't know who the fuck I was, and it was me against me.
We say that when you're in your 20s, you don't care what people think. And when you're in your 30s, you're very sensitive to what people think. And then you get into your 40s. And in your 40s, you realize the great truth is that no one was ever thinking about you at all. And that's the fact. Nobody ever thinks about us at all.
Most of the gains in life come from suffering in the short term so you can get paid in the long term. So take the path that is more painful in the short term, because your brain is creating this illusion that the short-term pain is greater than the long-term pain. Because long-term, yeah, you'll commit your future self to all kinds of long-term pain. Mañana.
You're putting a title on me to make yourself feel better about yourself. If you read this book of mine and you see where I came from, this person was not built. This person was not made by God. This person was built. I made this person. I made this person by diving into the insecurities that life gave me. Because now they're yours. They're yours to own.
It's easy to quit. It's easy to try the easier path. It's easier to try something that's already been done before. It's easier to do something knowing what the end result ultimately would be. It's harder when you don't know what the end result will be. It's harder when you face the uphill challenge and you deal with it and you go through the adversity and you face it head on, and you that's where you build confidence in yourself. That's where you build your own self-esteem. You know, if things are given to you, you never have a sense of how difficult it is to actually earn it.
I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things. But no one taught me this stuff. It was on me. And that's the thing you have to realize. Everything you do, you may have some support, you may not, but it's on you. You have to make the decision whether you want to be a badass or whether you just want to be mediocre and everything's okay. But being a badass hurts real bad. And that's why I didn't want to do it.
The more you do things that are natural to you, the less competition you have. You escape competition through authenticity, by being your own self. If I had to summarize how to be successful in life in 2 words, I would just say productize yourself.
Because if you make me feel too comfortable, I'm playing to win. And to win, I will destroy you. I will do everything to win. And I need to win. Because when I win, is is my proof that I am alive. And that's wherever I came, I was like that. But then I had situation where I have teammates, they would crack, they would not make it. They would cry in front of me, but I don't care because I'm here to win, because I played in top 5 clubs in the world. I played maybe 3 of them. And if I don't do my job, they bring in somebody else and I'm not there anymore. So that's why I say it's about survival mode. I'm not here to be nice or to be bad. I'm here to win.
I don't have time for that shit. Because if I want to be great, I'm not trying to maximize money or maximize people knowing me. I do these things because maybe someone out there will understand me and get it and say, I can grow from this guy. And others just won't.
But there's a reason that I haven't talked about that before, and that is because you don't get discipline from your parents. You don't get discipline from your parents, from your grandparents, from your older brothers and sisters. You don't get discipline from an external source. You have to get it from you. That's what self-discipline is. You get it from yourself. You get it from you.
I have to do more, and I have to do better, I have to be better, I have to work harder, I have to take myself to the limits and further, because now that's my standard. And now I need to overcome that standard to really impress anyone. Like that whole thing is showing your cards. As soon as someone knows you're good, or how good you are, that's a baseline. You have to be better than that.
I'm not afraid to fail. I don't mind, because I know that failure produces some of the best results. Every time I've ever failed at anything, the humiliation and the pain of it has always forced me to work so much harder. Failure in comedy is a gigantic blessing. If you have one good bombing, it sucks like sucking 1,000 dicks in front of your mother. But when it's over, you realize that can happen. You fucking tighten up your battleship.
There is a time limit on everything, my friend. Everything has a fucking expiration date. There is no tomorrow.
Nobody's better than you, and nobody's smarter than you. If anybody else is at the top of their field, it means that you can be at the top of your field. Just go to them and find out how they got there, because they started at the bottom. Now, it may take longer for some people and less for others, but everybody who puts one foot in front of the other and keeps moving eventually gets there.
By being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Exceptional people get exceptional results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and expect to not get what everyone else has got. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
Most people need to shut the fuck up and focus on that version of themselves they want to become and actually be willing to become it. And that's what's ultimately going to create the fulfillment that you're looking for. It's not going to be your cold plunge. It's not going to be your morning routine. It's going to be the work that you fucking do to become that version of yourself that is the exact version that you know you're supposed to become, and then being proud of it. That's what's going to create the fulfillment that you're searching for. And all of this other shit is just Band-Aid shit to try and fix something that you know is a real problem in yourself. There's nobody coming. There's nobody coming to save you. There's nobody coming to help you. A knight in shining armor isn't going to ride in and save you. You are the only one that's going to be able to save you.
Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't fucking do it. And that's where you fail. You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation. If you have motivation, that's great. That's some kindling to the fire. All it takes is a little bit of fucking spark, you can burn the whole forest up. But motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to learn to be, your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that shit. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there.
You are uncommon amongst uncommon men.
I will be 100% honest and say I'm comfortable with the understanding of hard work brings great rewards. This is a reminder of the hard work and dedication that I put into everything that I've done. I'm not content because I know where I came from and I don't ever want to go back. That doesn't mean I don't want to go back to the city. That doesn't mean I want to go back to the people. That means I don't want to go back to living like I once was. I want to go back and I want to help. I want to inspire, I want to motivate. I want to show people that there is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it.
You don't need talent. You need discipline. I said, man, I have that. So I started gravitating more towards the everyday person that went way beyond. They went to that blue to black line I talk about in the book. That blue to black line where you reach greatness. And I started realizing that's what I can do. I can outwork a motherfucker. I can outwork everybody. That's what it takes.
If you want revenge for the bad things that have happened in your life, start with the version of you that hasn't lived up to your potential.
It hurts, but if you turn the finger inwards and you start saying, I don't like my life. The person that I need to punish or get back at is the real person who got me here, which is me. And the pain that you feel by rejecting the thing that you used to do that got you into this bad circumstance, that's the real revenge.
And my personal question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
The thing was, when we were young, we're told we can be anything. And then we realize it's a lie. And then we realize we're telling ourselves it's a lie because we actually just realize how much work it's going to take. And we'd rather believe it's a lie than we're not willing to work hard enough to achieve these things.
See, a lot of us, because of our limited vision of ourselves, a lot of us who begin to focus on problems and enable them to overwhelm us, we begin to think that we have no options. We begin to believe that there's no way out. Repeat after me, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
And that's how I fixed it. Literally, look somebody in the eye and say, you know what, man? I have a whole bunch of character problems, character flaws. I've lied about this. I've cheated here. I'm insecure here. This isn't the real me. I lied to you about that. I wanted your acceptance in life. All those things happen, but the thing about it is that we get judged so quickly.
You'll get why my hand is in so much, because I have access to it. And the question should be, why not?
Yeah.
The question shouldn't be, why is he doing everything? It should be, why aren't you? Why aren't you trying to do everything? Why not?
You can't pretend. There's no pretending you're good. You have to be good. There's no pretending you're fast. You have to be fast. There's no pretending to be technical. You have to be perfect. Yeah, your technique has to be perfect, because you're fighting against other trained killers. Like, you're not fighting.
Your weaknesses will be revealed.
You're gonna get hurt, and I saw so many people get hurt.
It doesn't matter about what you tweeted. It doesn't matter about your beliefs.
Nothing
stepping
matters.
onto the.
At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that. What are you going to give up? What are you going to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be. When you put these restrictions up, and that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, but a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? You know how to do it. You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it.
Just chill. Continue to have fun. Now, by fun, I'm not recommending you go out drink your brains out at the bar and do something stupid, but my goodness, go hunting, go fishing, get a mountain bike, go hiking, go to the gym, go hang out around a barbecue fire with friends and just act silly and act goofy and be your age. Be your age and just embrace the process.
Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass it. Boy, that never goes out of style, does it? I mean, think about it. If you're gonna do something, if you've chosen to do something, whatever it is, easy, hard, if you give it your all and you don't half-ass it, win, lose, draw, get what you want, don't get what you want, whatever the outcome is, if you don't half-ass it, at least you're not gonna have to wonder, oh, would the outcome have been different? What if I did give it my all? And boy, wondering that is what keeps us up at night.
About who we are. We don't know. We don't go to where it happened. You know, life created this person, me. Life created me to be this fucked up person that I was back in the day. And I had to realize, man, that's okay, man. It's not my fault. Now I gotta go back and fix this shit though. So a lot of this isn't your fault, why you do some things you do, why you feel the way you feel. But no one's coming back to save your ass. You have to go back to where the shit started, wherever that place is for everybody, and have the courage to go back there and start fixing what broke you. And that's when I was like, hey, I'm fucked up. I'm gonna go back and fix this though.